What's going on, folks? Matthew Musetic with the Rook Animal team at Remax First Choice here. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm sure as you can see, it's already a different format. I'm up, I'm walking around. I like this. I feel more comfortable because I like to move around and do stuff. You're probably going to hear a lot of this throughout the video because I'm going to be moving my hands a lot. But anyway, this video is also different because it's going to be something I haven't done yet. And before we do anything, I want to make something very clear. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. And by the way, I'm not a financial advisor. And in case you didn't know, this is not financial advice. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about some trends I hear about happening in the real estate industry with all these tech disruptors, crypto, NFT, blockchain, Bitcoin. What even is that? Anyway, I'm hearing a lot of predictions and people talking about whether or not certain trends will take place. So I'm going to be breaking down a couple of those trends and giving you my thoughts and predictions on those specific trends. Let's get into it. So the first trend I'm going to be talking about, and I actually have seen a couple instances of this, but it's been very, very, very few and far between, is people purchasing houses with Bitcoin. Now, in case you didn't know, I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of what Bitcoin is according to Google. Bitcoin is defined as a type of digital currency in which a record of transaction is maintained and new units of currency are generated by the computational solution of mathematical problems and which operates independent of a central bank. That is the technical definition. For the sake of this conversation, consider Bitcoin a form of virtual currency that is decentralized. So I've been hearing a lot of talk about people purchasing houses with Bitcoin in the future and that cash won't be a thing and people will only buy big assets like cars and houses with Bitcoin. Now, based on what I see currently, I don't see the advantage of buying a house with Bitcoin because most people, they allocate a certain amount of their wealth into certain funds. So when you sell a house, you usually want some kind of easy to liquidate and stronghold of wealth asset, aka cash. I've never seen someone complain about getting all cash for their house. It hasn't been a problem in the past. It certainly won't be a problem in the future from what I'm seeing. The only advantage I see to buying a house with Bitcoin is that you don't have to pay the commissions. And the commission is pretty high when you're transferring cash to Bitcoin or Bitcoin to cash. I don't know if that'll change in the future. If it does, there's even less incentive to purchase a house with Bitcoin because again, now you have this specific asset that you've allocated a certain amount of your wealth to. Maybe you didn't want that much of it because usually when you're buying or selling a house, no matter how wealthy you are, that's a large sum of your overall net worth. So I don't see the advantage to it. Prediction, people will not be buying houses exclusively with Bitcoin. Not saying it's not going to happen, but it's going to be few and far between. And I imagine houses will still primarily be purchased with cash. The second trend I'm going to be talking about is the title or deed of a house being transferred via the blockchain. Now, if you don't know, blockchain's a little more complicated. It's how Bitcoin is bought and sold. But according to our friend Google again, blockchain is a system of recording information in a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. A blockchain is essentially a digital ledger of transactions that is duplicated and distributed across the entire network of computer systems on the blockchain. So basically, it's an overall ledger that anyone has access to. So it's hard to cheat or fraud because you can see exactly where transactions are coming and going to. It's really just an online ledger you can't really hack. Now, I've heard of in the future there's going to be some way to hack it. I don't know. I'm not a blockchain expert. Again, I'm not an expert in any of this. It's just what I know about these specific disruptors and what I know about real estate and my opinion on them. However, being that blockchain is very simple, yet extremely, extremely intricate in that you can't really finesse it, you can't really hack it. It's a one-way street. But by doing this, you really minimize the amount of fraud that can go on with titles. I mean, I'm sure you know of title insurance, a lot can happen. You have clouds on title, you have title defects, and transferring titles via the blockchain can minimize all of those instances. So prediction, property, titles, and deeds will be transferred via blockchain in the future. Now, the third and final trend I'm going to be touching on is the purchase and allocation of digital real estate. Now, to understand what digital real estate is, we're going to have to go into another definition. Non-fungible token, otherwise known as NFT. NFT is a unit of data stored on a digital ledger called blockchain that certifies a digital asset to be unique and therefore not interchangeable. NFTs can be used to represent items such as photos, videos, audio, or other types of digital files. So basically, a Bitcoin is a fungible token, being that every single one is the same. No specific Bitcoin is worth more than the other, but NFT is different in that it is similar to Bitcoin in that it is a byproduct of a blockchain ledger. However, every NFT is a little bit different. So you have NFTs that show ownership of specific pieces of art, specific pieces of music, Whereas if you own a Bitcoin, you own the same Bitcoin as the next guy. And if you own Bitcoin, congratulations. Anyway, people are purchasing these virtual pieces of real estate via NFT because the byproduct of that blockchain shows that they own this particular piece of virtual real estate. Now, I'm seeing a bunch of different versions or platforms in which people are buying and selling this virtual real estate. The number one that I've seen, it's called Decentraland. It's basically just kind of like Second Life, if you're familiar. It's just a virtual, it's not necessarily virtual reality. It's just...
Let the internet babysit you, stupid moron.
It's a sandbox multiplayer world, I guess you could call it.
I mean, not everybody's thinking like he's done. I love it. He's throwing a tantrum now. Oh.
I could go into a more intricate and probably accurate definition of what Decentraland and these other virtual reality worlds are. They're basically just like Second Life. They're basically just kind of like a much more deeper and intricate video game in which you buy and sell things on that video game, but with real money. Now, according to REALTOR, a patch of land measuring 41,216 virtual square meters sold for $572,000 on April 11th, which was the platform's record. Really, the idea is to purchase these virtual pieces of real estate and experience appreciation of the future when those virtual pieces of real estate cost more money because you have more people on the platform and they want to buy land and build a virtual house there. Because you have so many different platforms, Decentraland just being one of them, but in my opinion, the biggest one. You have so many different platforms. Some of them won't catch on. People won't play these games, or I shouldn't say games. People won't participate in these virtual worlds. So the real estate purchase will ultimately lose its value. Now, on platforms like Decentraland or any other platform that may or may not blow up, those pieces of real estate bought early on will be worth a lot more because you can kind of parcel it back out, sell it to individual people, and make a ton of money and quadruple your money and become a multi-billionaire. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. I really don't know if this is going to catch on, if people are going to be living in the metaverse or playing these virtual reality games from here on out indefinitely. And I certainly don't know how much they're going to be spending on things like clothes or, in this case, houses in those metaverses or video games, whatever you want to call it. So, prediction with virtual real estate, I don't know. In my opinion, it's going to be the biggest thing ever, and everyone who bought these crazy pieces of land on these platforms are going to rule the world one day, or it's going to be nothing, and we're going to look back and say, yeah, why did we ever think that was going to be a thing? So I don't know. If jury's really out. We'll have to wait and see. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are my predictions on people purchasing houses with Bitcoin, using blockchain to transfer title, and purchasing digital real estate. So, like I said, I don't know much about the tech disruptors. I know a lot about real estate, and this is my way of just putting those two together just to give you my opinion and my prediction on them. If you need help buying digital real estate, I can't help you. If you need help purchasing or selling physical real estate, I am Matthew Siddick with the Rick Hannibal team at RE/MAX First Choice. And if there is ever anything in the world I can do for you, give me a call, 302-312-0515. Hope to hear from you soon.